He swung open the firehouse fridge, tired bones aching after a brutal 14-hour shift, expecting one simple comfort, his famous rice pudding. The one he made from scratch, carefully labeled, and looked forward to like a kid on Christmas morning. But just like the last few times, it was gone. No note. No explanation. No apology. Just empty space and that awful, familiar feeling, someone had taken it again. And that was it. The last straw. Because my uncle wasn't just a firefighter. He was a man who'd spent his life saving strangers, working long shifts most people couldn't even imagine, and all he wanted was to enjoy his home-cooked meal in peace. But someone kept stealing that from him. Over and over. Now, you need to understand the kind of man my uncle was. Back in the 80s, he was the strong, silent type. Didn't speak unless there was something worth saying. Tall, steady, with calloused hands and a work ethic that humbled everyone. He wasn't just respected, he earned that respect, day in and day out. And outside the firehouse? His passion was food. I mean, the man could cook. Thai, Indian, Mexican, you name it. He could whip up something better than most restaurants, and he did it not to impress, but because it made him happy. But above all, it was his rice pudding that became legendary. Creamy, rich, the perfect balance of sweet and spice. A dessert so good, we still talk about it at family gatherings. It was his signature dish, his comfort after saving lives. So when he started meal prepping for work, naturally, he packed the pudding. Stored in neat little containers, labeled, sealed, and placed in the firehouse fridge. But that's when it started. One went missing. Then another. At first, he thought, maybe someone grabbed it by mistake. But as the weeks passed and the thefts continued, the pattern was clear. Someone was helping themselves to his dessert. No remorse. No ownership. Just theft, plain and simple.
He wasn't angry about the pudding. He was angry about the disrespect. Eventually, he left a note. Short, polite, a warning. To whoever keeps eating my food, please stop. There will be consequences. That was his line in the sand. The message was clear, but calm, exactly how he handled everything in life. And yet, the very next shift, his pudding was gone again. This time, he didn't write another note. He made a plan. Later, at a family barbecue, he told us the story. He said it so casually, beer in one hand, half smirking as he remembered the whole thing. But the way he described it, honestly, it gave me chills. He and my aunt lived on a 5-acre property at the time. Beautiful place. Quiet. But what made it extra special? The dogs. 6 of them. Big ones. Active ones. And if you've ever had that many dogs on a country property, then you know what the backyard looks like. A minefield of dried-up white dog turds. And that's exactly what he went looking for. He grabbed a spoon and a plastic bag and stepped outside. Found a few of those chalky landmines, brought them back in, and began his recipe. He crushed them up delicately with intention. Finely ground like seasoning. Then stirred them into a fresh batch of rice pudding, complete with cinnamon and sugar like always. It looked perfect. Smelled sweet. Absolutely no sign of the surprise ingredient. And then came the best part, the Polaroids. He took pictures of every step. Scooping the dog poop, crushing it, stirring it in, topping the pudding, sealing the container. Like some deranged chef's cookbook, page by page. And then, he calmly placed the special pudding in the fridge at the firehouse. Said nothing. Went home. The next day, he returned to the station. Walked into the kitchen after his shift, casually opened the fridge. The pudding? Gone. Exactly what he expected. Without a word, he pulled a manila envelope from his bag, walked to the kitchen table, and began laying out the Polaroids, one after the other. No accusations. No dramatic speech. Just pictures. And silence. One by one, his coworkers trickled into the kitchen and saw the evidence. The looks on their faces? He didn't need to say anything. They knew. The thief knew. Everyone knew. But no one said a word. No confessions. No denials. No angry outbursts. Just silence thick enough to choke on. The guilty one? He didn't fess up. Probably went pale. Probably ran to the bathroom. Maybe even gagged. But my uncle never found out, or rather, never asked. Because after that day, no one touched his food again. Imagine being that guy, sneaking pudding behind everyone's back, thinking you're clever, only to find out you've been eating rice pudding laced with dog crap. Then seeing photographic proof of how it was made, knowing that everyone else had seen it too. He wasn't fired. My uncle didn't press it further. The guy just disappeared into the background. Probably brought his own meals after that. Or maybe just stopped eating altogether for a while. But my uncle? He kept cooking. Kept bringing his meals. And finally, he could eat in peace. Because sometimes, justice doesn't come with a courtroom. Sometimes it comes from a man who's had enough and a backyard full of dogs. This wasn't just about dessert. It was about dignity, boundaries, respect, and how sweet revenge can be, even when it smells a little funny. If this story made you laugh, cringe, or feel like karma really does exist, go ahead and hit that like button. Share your own in comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've taken?